So I went out and bought a Nexus 7, Asus's creation with the help of Google. 7-inch tablet, well, I'd say very small. Very small form factor, very light, and it fits in the palm of your hand. Comparing it to the iPad, which is absolutely monumental. I'll do a proper comparison up there with them side by side, etc. But yeah, Nexus 7. I bought this, well, primarily because this thing is a heap of shit. Essentially, at the moment, it's an expensive hand warmer. It gets insanely hot for no real reason, really. Battery life is also atrocious. It seems to want to drain the battery for no reason. And the operating system is buggy, shit, and it's like so bad. To the extent that stupid things like the App Store crashes and the settings, like if you go into settings, it crashes out of that. It crashes Safari, and obviously the maps, which are really shit. So I wanted something to replace my iPad, and because it was only 200 quid, I was like, do you know what? Let's go for it, and I did. And do you know what? I kind of like it, and I don't really. But I mean, I'm just going to do first impressions of this. I'm not going to do a proper review because I've only just picked up last night, and I've only just set it up, and I've been using it today. But I can't do a proper review without using it for about a month. So and obviously Google will bring out the new the 32 gig version, and obviously the iPad Mini will be coming out. Well, hopefully be coming out. I think the launch event's next week, which I will talk about as well. But so form factor, I'm going to talk about first. Right, form factor. I like the form factor of this because it fits in your hand. It fits in your hand nicely, and it does. I mean, it fits in really nice and comfortably, and I can turn it on and I can use it, and I can type away one-handed or two-handed, and I can actually type it like that, which is really good. I really like that. Like I can type it like this really comfortably, and it's fine. The iPad, not so much. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to do that, and it's insanely lightweight. Whereas comparing this with this is quite heavy. Now, I generally use this in bed a lot. And because this is so much lighter, I don't get arm ache or anything like that, because I usually like have it up here going round, and it's just really uncomfortable. This is really good. It's good for watching. It's good for reading books, and it's good for if you're in front of the TV and you just want to try and want to search IMDb for who the hell is that person that I'm seeing on the screen? Who the hell is that actor? What hell film were they in, etc. Which usually generally happens when you watch CSI and things like that. You think, who the hell's that? I know him from somewhere. And it's really good for that because it's nice and lightweight and it's fine. But I don't like the fact that, let's go straight into Google Chrome, for instance. I don't like the fact that it wastes a lot of the space on the screen. If you look at the top, I actually put a video up there because it's actually easier for you to see. The top of it's wasted by the tabs. So up there, they're actually wasted by the tabs. And if you're only using one tab, it's annoying because then you've got all this wasted space up there, especially if you've got it landscape. And then you can't actually have it probably full screen. And obviously at the bottom there, you've got the annoying, stupid home button, which say wastes half the screen real estate. Well, not half the screen, but it wastes quite a bit of the screen real estate. Considering that the device isn't that big, you don't really want to be wasting it for stuff like that. So I kind of wish they put like soft buttons at the bottom of the screen there, as opposed to them being as part of the operating system, because it's kind of a bit annoying. And you also accidentally press them a lot, I found. So that's one annoyance. Movie watching, it's actually quite good for movie watching. I kind of would prefer a better or bigger screen, really. I mean, this is what I like about the iPad. I like the bigger screen on the iPad, especially for movie viewing. I do a lot of travelling on the train, and it's really good for that. This is probably more ideally suited for aeroplane, because obviously in aeroplane, especially economy, you don't get very much space at all. The iPad, on the other hand, is, I mean, it's still fine for that, but I tend to find it's better for if you're on the train, for instance. I mean, I travel on the train a lot, and I travel first class a lot. I know a lot of you are going to be saying, "Oh no, snob." I do that because it's like £1 more expensive than travelling standard class to back home. So I don't really, I'd much rather, travel in comfort for an extra £1 and get free coffee and biscuits than slep it in standard class. So I do a lot of first class. Like going in a train first class, and with that the table's quite far away, and I find the iPad's an ideal sort of size for that, whereas this I don't know whether or not I'm going to get on as well with this. I also need to try and find a case that's going to make it stand upright, because with obviously the iPad I've got a smart case for it. With this I don't, So I'd have to hold it in my hand. Although it's comfortable to hold in your hand because it's insanely light. So I'm not too sure how much is actually going to come in at. Actually, I'm going to have to find that out and put it up there. But it is lightweight, and I suppose it's really ideal for if you had kids, for instance, and you don't actually want to splash out 400 odd quid on an iPad. Say you had a kid that was like, I don't mean young kids, because I don't think you should give young kids technology. I think that's a stupid idea. And there's some stupid bullshit article. Well, when we were in the US, there was some news item came on about, kids being addicted to the iPad, and I was like, no, just give them a backhand slap, take it from them, and tell them to stop being a whining bitch. But no, say like you had, I don't know, year 7 type age, so like 12, 13, and you wanted maybe to buy them, like, I don't know, you had maybe a load of kids as well, and you wanted to buy them a tablet, just because then they just stop hassling you, and you want to get them away from maybe the desktop because you want to be able to use it for work or whatever it is. This is really ideal for that because it's really small, it's lightweight, it's built reasonably well, and of course it's going to be a lot cheaper than buying an iPad. And also I tend to find it works better. It's the same with the BlackBerry Playbook, for instance. Now, because I was drawn between either the BlackBerry Playbook or the Google Nexus 7. Now, the reason I didn't go with the BlackBerry Playbook was because I was worried that if BlackBerry go bust, which is quite likely, I would then lose all support for it and it would go all out the window. But what I did like about that, about the BlackBerry Playbook, was that you had HDMI out, you had front and rear facing cameras, and that was kind of that, really. That was the selling point for me. And also, you could get a 64 gig version for about 120 quid, which is a downside cheaper than this. This is a 16 gig version. This cost me 200 quid. So that's why I was drawn to the Playbook, but I didn't go with the Playbook because they don't have as many apps. To put Android on it, I think you can put Android. You can put CyanogenMod on it, but it's a pain in the padded arse. So I was like, I don't know. And you can run certain Android apps, and it runs it in some weird virtualized mode. But really, for me, the only thing I really wanted was for web browsing and some video viewing, and that was kind of it, really. So I was thinking, well, I could get that. And then I thought, well, really, if I'm going to get a tablet, I kind of want to be able to use it properly and put Evernote on it and put all these apps that I use every day. So Evernote, SpringPad, proper Twitter app. So like stuff like Plume, which I use as my primary Twitter app, which is slowly becoming a bit of a pain in the arse at the moment. But so for me, I sort of looked at it and sort of thought, well, for me, the back end, the OS, isn't maybe as good. And I know QNX came a long way from the original Playbook when it first came out. It was really, really shit. But it's come a long way, and it's a damn good price. And for the price, 120 quid, I'd be tempted to buy one of them and just chuck them to my mother. Just buy them for one at home, just to keep it down my parents' place. And then when I go down, I've got a tablet there. I don't have to worry about taking my iPad with me or this with me. And that's kind of that, really. It's kind of my reasons for buying one of these as opposed to anything else. But I shall be taking this into an Apple reseller, Stormfront in the UK, and get them to have a look at this thing, see whether or not the battery's fucked, and see whether or not there's any hardware issues with it. And if there is, get them to sort it out. And if there isn't, I'll just fucking sell it and get rid of the bloody thing, because it's so crap. Software's buggy, it's an expensive hand warmer, drains the battery unnecessarily. So I just want to get rid of the bastard, really, if I'm honest. So that's that, really. I will do a proper review of this at some point, probably when the iPad mini gets announced. I should probably do it around about then, when I've actually had a couple of weeks to play around with this bad boy. But no, if you want to go and get it, I'll put a link in the description below for the official Google Play link, and I shall catch you in a later video.